I actually got laid off.
I lost my job.
I lost my job.
I no longer have a job, I don't think. And the reason I no longer have a job, it's not my fault. So I think that's what pisses me off
Due
more.
to a downturn in work within the construction industry at present and a reduced demand for our labour on various sites, we've had to reduce the size of our workforce, and there is no work for you to do at this time. It's quite a sad thing actually, because there was like men I was working with like families and obviously children, wife.
I lost my job at the newspaper this morning, and it was quite a devastating morning for me. I didn't even make it to my office. My boss told me in the hallway.
Early this week, I got made redundant. So, I wasn't really expecting to be in this situation. I think it's a big shock to me.
And we are feeling it a bit. I'm a single mum, and so obviously it's really important. I need to work, and it's important that that I have a job.
We're all losing our jobs.
This year, as you've already perceived, we are bringing you the story of your company's progress via the motion picture screen. At Whipple's, we only take forward steps. And now, family members and stockholders of the Whipple Corporation, this is the X109B14 modified transistorized totally automatic assembly machine, which eliminates 61,000 jobs, 73 bulky, inefficient machines, 81,000 needless man-hours per 11 working days, and $4 million in expenditures each year for employee hospitalization, employee insurance, employee welfare, and employee profit participation. From now on, Whipple will operate from a brain center with machines such as this one.
Technological unemployment is a reality. It shows no sign of stopping at repetitive job automation. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the technological capabilities of the human species has increased exponentially. This has helped to produce more and more goods and services, which in turn has fueled the infinite growth paradigm that has been consuming the resources on this planet at a faster rate as time proceeds. Productivity growth in the last decade in the US is at more than 2.5%. This is higher than the 1970s, 1980s and even the 1990s. Technology and machines enable this increase in productivity.
Hi there, and thank you for joining us. It's not a word that financial experts use lightly, but a lot of them are using it today. Panic. Around the world, stock markets continued their terrifying plunge.
Since the recession of 2008, by 2010, investment in technology, machinery and infrastructure is near peak. Employers and thus capitalists have to make a profit in the system. If labour gets in the way of increasing profits, it's labour that has to go. Employers don't need to pay any of the associated costs or time employing a labour force when compared to a machine force which operates at a much more efficient rate than any human can. Machines do not take breaks, take annual leave from the workplace, or head out on a cigarette break. Thus, the benefits of machine automation obviously has many advantages, even within this capitalist system we live through today. Essentially, companies are looking to sell more products with less employees. This is to ensure that companies keep up with the competition. This documentary will look at the effects of the ongoing process called technological unemployment, and what we can do about it. In short, nothing less than an economic transition is required. It is clear that one of the most prominent contradictions of the capitalist system is the phenomenon of technological unemployment. Could this be the killer of the outdated monetary economic system? It's clear that change is needed on a global, monumental scale if we want to advance technologically as one species.
This system will keep installing more and more automation
cutting down on the purchasing power of the majority of people. There will come a time, it's called the Gaussian curve, where employment is that, production is this, and purchasing power is that. The system stops. Banks fail, nothing works anymore. We're moving in that direction very rapidly.
The current level of technological capabilities across the sectors is immense. Here is a sector-by-sector review of particular areas of work which have been and which can be automated today.
Introducing Care-Robot and Casero, service robots on a guest visit to Parkheim-Berg in Stuttgart. Their mission as part of the VMI Care project to help the staff with their work. He's certainly been a great help to us in our day-to-day work, you know, transporting things, taking the laundry to the cellar and carrying crates of mineral water. He's definitely helped us there, because it saves us time. He can do all those things and we can spend more time with the residents. We are talking about Casero. His speciality, transporting things independently. Once Silke Lakar has loaded the laundry into the container, she simply needs to press a few buttons on the display to send the service robot on his way. He then picks up the laundry and takes it to the cellar for washing. At night, when there's nothing that needs transporting, the service robot turns to his second job, that of night watchman, patrolling the corridors along a fixed route. A built-in camera allows members of staff to follow him on his travels. Should Casero come across anything unusual, he soon raises the alarm. The member of staff is also brought the first aid case. He's a big help, especially to me because I also do night watch in Parkheim-Berg. He enables me to see that, at least in the corridors, everything is okay, which is really useful. And he also brings me the first aid case. He's a big help.
Hallo, ich bin Care-Robot 3. In dieser Woche unterstütze ich die Pflegekräfte bei ihrer Arbeit.
A different robot, a different task. Care-Robot makes direct contact with the residents in Parkheim-Berg. He can even recognize faces.
Frau Ebner, Sie möchten doch bestimmt etwas trinken.
Ja, so.
Ein Schluck Wasser kann doch nicht schaden.
Ja, da hast du recht. Prost nach Prost.
Na denn, Prost.
Prost, oder Leben.
The second guest robot can independently pour out drinks and then hand them out to residents. What's special about him is that he keeps a record of who's had something to drink and how often. Members of staff can examine the record at any time. We're definitely under great pressure to make sure that the residents get enough to drink. That's a big challenge for the staff.
Throughout the hospital, many routine tasks are computerized. For example, in the lab, robotic lines automatically process and test blood samples. The results are sent electronically to physicians. Slightly more unexpected are the 20 robots called tugs, which navigate the hospital halls, delivering medications, supplies, and packages.
Your delivery has arrived.
These tugs never get lost.
We literally load AutoCAD, the digital plan files of the building, into the computer that exists in the robot. So it has an onboard schematic of the building, and it navigates that through that plan.
Calling elevator.
In the critical care unit, hospital beds are linguistically gifted. Simple questions, often asked by nurses, such as, "Where do you feel pain?" can be played in 22 different languages, including Mandarin or Farsi. These smart beds also ensure patients follow doctor's orders.
In addition, it does have a fall prevention mechanism where if the patient is trying to get out of bed on their own, an alarm sounds so the staff can hear that alarm and then go prevent the patient from getting out of bed and falling.
Conte from the Wall Street Journal joins us now to talk about the robots coming to Amazon. Amazon has acquired Kiva Systems. They make shipping robots. Tell us a little bit about the deal and what Amazon's looking to get out of this.
So robots are basically taking over our lives all over the place, and this is the latest example.
Pretty soon there will be robots sitting here doing our
they're already on
jobs.
robotic cameras,
That's
and
right,
there
we
might be
have
robotic
cameras.
hosts sooner than we think. I hope not.
Sorry, camera guy. No,
So,
you're saying you're going to be
sorry,
out of work.
camera guy. Yeah, sorry, host guy.
Yeah.
So the story is,
Yeah, Spencer.
Amazon has been.
He's already a cyborg. Did
Yeah,
you
I
know
know,
that?
right?
He
Robots
really
can
is a
think
cyborg.
now.
He's
Like
filing
they can answer
stories as
questions.
he's doing this.
Like Watson beats the humans in Jeopardy. It's just a matter of time, really. So basically, Amazon, which has been a leader in developing, lots of different kinds of technology, and especially automation technology in their fulfillment centers. They have dozens of fulfillment centers that deliver products for Amazon itself and for third parties that use them for shipping and fulfillment. So they're really deep into this business. And they've acquired this company, which is kind of a crazy idea. They've developed these mobile robots that use sensors and wireless networking technology to basically deliver and move products to the shippers, who then, see, there's a picture of the robot.
Was Amazon using these guys already?
I don't think they were. They're actually, this company is used by many other different retailers, like Staples and Best Buy and some other companies like that.
With literally millions of dollars at stake, success is measured in pennies. The checker plays a key role in this daily struggle.
Welcome. Please scan your first item.
To frazzled waiters and confused cooks. Now you can get your order from a computer. Introducing the e-menu, the future of restaurant technology. Quite a nice alternative then to having to deal with a moody waiter that's been on their feet all day. And I think it makes me want to order more. I will have 3 tiger shrimp panko coating sushi and steamed spare ribs coming my way. Young entrepreneurs at the Israeli startup Conceptic have introduced computer-based menus that allow patrons to order their food directly off an LCD screen. No waiters, no pen and papers, and no wait. Conceptic has installed its e-menu in about a dozen restaurants throughout Israel, as well as eateries in South Africa, Belgium, and France.
The manufacturing processes required to turn these complex building designs into reality have remained elusive until now. This may be about to change if current research by scientists at Loughborough University comes to fruition. The research group has been inspired by 3D printing, an additive manufacturing process. Here, information created from computer-generated models is exported to a machine which then builds up a model or a component, layer by layer. The virtual model is, in effect, materialized. At Loughborough, instead of using powder and glue, they are experimenting with concrete to create large-scale building components.
The research here at Loughborough University gives us tremendous opportunities. We are able to have a little peek into the future to see what construction technology will be in the next 5 or 10 years.
Concrete printing works on the basis of a highly controlled extrusion of cement-based mortar, which is precisely positioned according to computer data. The process has the potential to create architecture that is more unique in form, but crucially, components do not have to be made from solid material, and so can use resources more efficiently than traditional techniques.
We have shown how additive manufacturing can be developed to create large structures such as panels and walls, with precisely controlled voids within them.
For example, the section which you can see being manufactured here could incorporate all the service requirements of a building, such as pipes and cables, in one unit.
This process is capable of producing building components with a degree of customization that's not yet been seen. It could create an era of architecture that's adapted to the environment and fully integrated with engineering function.
Imagine whole sections of a building being printed and then assembled on site with their service provision already installed. Above all, imagine a building whose form and scale could take on limitless possibilities.
Within this current economic system, technology is pushing people into lower paid, unskilled, competitive, boring, mundane occupations. Keep this in mind. How are we able to upgrade intellectual potential amongst all people if this is happening at a faster rate? US job growth has stalled for the first decade of the 21st century, and with an increase in machine automation, this is only going to increase in time.
A transition to an economy which benefits all of humankind, not just a select few, is surely the most socially sustainable option. Is there anything we can do about technological unemployment? If we don't utilise this phenomenon productively, we could remain bound by outdated cultural norms. Picture this, a society scientifically advanced which can easily eradicate all monotonous, mundane, repetitive occupations around the world, liberating people from stress and giving them the time they need to enjoy a healthy, positive life, spending their time how they see fit. Yet, because of this flimsy, unscientific notion of customer service, all of this becomes held back. This train of thought is extremely detrimental and very short-sighted.
You can tell the quality of a company by its tellers.
And you always tell the quality of a teller by the way she does her work.
Here's your receipt, and thank you, Mrs. Fenton. You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
$4.85 out of $10.
That's right. Nice day, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is.
The New Economics Foundation proposes to move towards a shorter working week, making 21 hours the new norm, not 40 hours or more. We're adapting this idea to fit in with the ongoing machine automation of jobs. The government would have no choice but to subsidise people financially during this transition, or at the very least, change parts of the economic system to accommodate these changes. No one could be left struggling with little money to meet their needs due to the cutback in working hours, and full employment can be achieved in the transition. Shortening the working week will achieve many benefits for everyone, including reducing the impact on planetary resources due to the reduction in consumption, providing a grand wealth redistribution, providing a living wage and access to necessary resources for all, reducing environmental degradation, especially in terms of pollution, increased well-being and free time to pursue genuine interests, a more equal society, better community relations overall as needs are being met and stress becomes reduced due to the cutting back of working hours, potentially leading to less monetary related crimes. With the free time available, people would be encouraged to go back into learning new skills so that they can contribute more to the society they live in. Most importantly, we can outgrow the monetary economic system and head towards one which is based on resource allocation, via the utilisation of technology for social concern on a mass scale. Wages would eventually be obsolete if this were ever to be achieved. In 1974, when the 3-day working week was imposed by Edward Heath's Labour government, analysts found out soon afterwards that the industrial output lessened by only 6%. The full New Economics Foundation document report titled 21 Hours can be found on their website. Here is a short video to explain these ideas further.
There's a very strong feeling around that people want change, particularly in relation to how they use their time. People get on a kind of a treadmill where they live to work and they work to earn and they earn to consume.
Money that you don't have to spend on things you don't need to create impressions that won't last on people you don't care about.
Our suggestion is that we move slowly but steadily over a decade or more towards much shorter and more flexible paid working hours, with the ultimate goal of achieving something like a 21-hour week.
Keynes wrote an essay in 1913 which he predicted that by this time people would be 4 or 5 times richer and would work, on average, only about 15 hours a week.
About a year ago we published a report called 21 Hours which put these arguments on the agenda for the first time, and we were so overwhelmed by the kind of response that we got that we thought, well, there's obviously potential here.
There's a growing interest in finding alternatives to business as usual, and more people are prepared to consider the case for redistributing paid and unpaid time, and it seems that social, environmental and economic interests are beginning to converge around this subject.
We had a public lecture at the LSE and it was packed. We had more than 400 people there.
The conventional wisdom says that in periods of hard times, such as the one we're going through, what we need to do is double down and work harder because we're poorer. That's the standard view, but it's a fallacy. One of the things about working hours is that it's one of the most powerful levers for making transformational change in a system, and also one of the most, I think, underappreciated ones.
If you look at Germany and Denmark and the Netherlands in Europe, you'll find that they all have quite considerably shorter working hours than the UK, and they have very robust economies.
Improving working hours provides us with what we call in economics a triple dividend possibility. Improving the employment picture, improving ecological outcomes, and improving quality of life.
It spreads a diminishing amount of paid employment around more people, and it helps to cut the benefits bill. It will help to free up time so that people can spend time with their children, looking after elderly relatives, being better friends and neighbours, being more active citizens in their communities. It will also help to reduce carbon because the higher earners spend more money on energy-intensive goods, so they have bigger carbon footprints.
Countries who are on a path of work time reduction have lower carbon footprints and lower ecological footprints. Countries with higher hours of work have higher footprints.
It's not about saying we can pass a law and get everyone to do things differently. It's about creating conditions, not about forcing people to change their behaviour.
It's not a naive question to ask ourselves, what is the value of our time? And what is the quality of our experience in that time?
One has to try and recapture the idea that there is something called a good life, to which wealth is a means, and orient our social institutions towards it.
We want people to think about the idea, to get interested in it, to identify what the problems are, to come back to us, to challenge us, to talk about it in their workplaces, to talk about it in their families and homes, so that we can really generate a movement out there of people who want to carry this forward.
The idea in and of itself, shortening the working week gradually, will be one of the main steps forward. We can achieve this by allowing technology to take over the mundane, repetitive jobs bit by bit. What we should be thinking of perhaps is not how much does it cost, but do we have the knowledge, resources and enough time to undertake a task which can improve society? Either way, technological advancements will enable capitalists to allow more technological unemployment to occur and eventually end most repetitive jobs as we know it today. This is what could be called a huge contradiction of the capitalist system. Education is also key towards a sustainable jobless transition. We need a complete overhaul of outdated customs and values to shape the future generation towards implementing the jobless society. Imagine the significant increase in well-being and health of the population, the increase in free time to develop yourself and to pursue leisure activities during and after the jobless transition has occurred.
Here's what I propose. You can't stay on the Enterprise, but I have arranged for us to rendezvous with the USS Charleston bound for Earth. They will deliver you there.
Then what will happen to us? There's no trace of my money. My office is gone. What will I do? How will I live?
This is the 24th century. Material needs no longer exist.
Then what's the challenge?
The challenge, Mr. Offenhouse, is to improve yourself, to enrich yourself. Enjoy it.